Bien, le damos la bienvenida a todas las personas que nos acompañan el día de hoy en este webinar informativo con Vanderbilt University, Owen Graduate School of Management, ubicada en Estados Unidos. Mi nombre es Karen Martínez, hago parte del equipo de Relaciones Internacionales y Consejería Académica en COLFUTURO, y el día de hoy nos está acompañando Kim Killingsworth. Ella nos hablará sobre cosas fundamentales y muy importantes para todas las personas que estén justamente interesadas en llevar a cabo un programa de posgrado en ese país y en esta universidad. Así que es sin duda este un espacio fundamental para que todos ustedes puedan resolver cualquier inquietud que tengan al respecto. Quiero contarles a todos que este mes de noviembre realizaremos este tipo de webinars informativos con universidades de convenio que estén ubicadas en los Países Bajos y en Estados Unidos. Así que igual, todos están invitadísimos, no se pierdan la oportunidad de resolver cualquier inquietud directamente con representantes de estas instituciones. Para abrir un poco la sesión, les quiero contar que Colfuturo tiene un convenio con Vanderbilt University y este convenio consta de un descuento del 50% en el valor de la matrícula para 2 beneficiarios de Colfuturo. Kim nos ayudará a profundizar un poquito más sobre esta información. Entonces, sin mayor preámbulo, Kim, gracias por estar aquí el día de hoy. Estamos muy contentos de tenerte con nosotros, de poder solucionar de forma directa las dudas contigo, así que puedes empezar con tu presentación.
Gracias, Karen. The Director of International Recruiting and Relations at the Owen Graduate School of Management at Vanderbilt University. We are located in Nashville, Tennessee, which you may have heard before as Music City, USA, home of country music and home of Taylor Swift, who happens to have a penthouse apartment right near campus, so many of our students have seen her. So thank you for coming to learn about Vanderbilt. And perhaps I've met some of you before. I was recruiting in Bogota just in October, and I'm always in Bogota about 2 times a year. I have been recruiting in Bogota since before, in Colombia, since before you were born. Back in the 90s, I used to recruit professors for Fulbright scholarships to go to the US and do their masters and PhDs. And then I moved into the world of MBA recruiting and always enjoy going to Colombia. So thank you for learning about Vanderbilt. Okay, a little bit about why Vanderbilt. We function on a very personal scale. This MBA is going to feel very, very different to you than other MBAs. And I noticed that the first time I walked in the building. I've been to a lot of business schools. I've worked at another business school, and this just feels completely different. I've been here 12 years now, and that's testimony to how this is a very different environment. Our mission is creating opportunities to discover, grow, and thrive in business and beyond. We like to say that we are competitive, but not cutthroat. And we do that by having a relatively small class size of about 175 per year, which is the number that we find is the sweet spot for creating a very collaborative environment. All of the students know each other, not only in their grade, but in the year program. And it's very easy for students to have easy access to all of the staff and faculty. This is somewhere where the professors know the students by name. We are a very, very close-knit community. As I mentioned before, we say we are competitive, but not cutthroat. We have a real emphasis on teamwork here and the collaborative culture. This is our new building. We moved into it almost 2 years ago. It is LEED Gold certified, and it is just a lovely space, which students love. There are lots of little alcoves that can be used for places to study and lots of breakout rooms. So very, very conducive for the Nashville. We're located in the southeastern part of the United States. And we offer a very high quality of life at a relatively low cost of living. You can see here, this is the star where Nashville is, and we're within a 2-hour flight of all of the cities on the East Coast, as well as Dallas and Houston. So it's very, very centrally located, which is important when employers invite you for an interview and you need to be there, and you can do it with 1-2-hour flight to any of these cities in the Northeast or to Miami, Dallas, and Houston, as I mentioned. We're known for Southern hospitality. I always ask the international students what their biggest surprise was in coming to Nashville, and they often will say it's how pleasant everybody is, and complete strangers will say hello to them on the street, which they're not necessarily used to. We are the hub of healthcare providers. Over 75% of hospital beds in the US are owned by companies based in Nashville. So for that reason, we have a lot of students who end up in the healthcare industry and many who come from the healthcare industry. And we also offer a healthcare MBA. All types of music, not just country music, a lot of it free any night of the week. And we've got major sports leagues as well as a soccer club and just wonderful, wonderful things to do. It's a very, very vibrant city and one of the fastest growing in the US. So lots of job opportunities, but our students end up getting jobs all over the country. Little bit about Nashville, as far as it being the hottest job market in the country. It also was named as the friendliest city in the US. And as I mentioned before, one of the fastest growing cities. A lot of companies have moved their headquarters to Nashville, such as Mars Pet Care, Healthcare of America, Armor, and Lyft and Google all have subsidiaries here. Oracle has opened an office here. Alliance Bernstein, which is a finance company, moved its headquarters from New York to Nashville. So lots of companies having their headquarters here. World-class faculty. This is Kelly Goldsmith. She appeared on Survivor and is often quoted in the news publications here. And as I mentioned before, very easy access to faculty. This is somewhere where the professors know you by now. This is the class profile of the current first year students. You can see the class size is 175. You can see the age range there. I don't want you to get too concerned about the GMAT average. But I would recommend that you try to aim for at least the 80% range of the GMAT. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And you can also see that not all of our students come from business. We have professional actors, singers, athletes. So we're looking to create a very diverse background of students. So looking for students from all types of careers. Over 14,000 alumni around the world, very responsive when students reach out to them during the job search. We strongly subscribe to equity, diversity, and inclusion. And in fact, tomorrow is our equity, diversity, and inclusion summit, which will have a virtual component to it. We have a diversity and inclusion advisory board, which ensures that diversity, equity, and inclusion is infused into the coursework. All different types of activities. These are our partners. If you are female, pay attention to Forte, which is a foundation that supports women in MBA programs and in business. So many of our scholarships for females are Forte fellowships, which give entree into the Forte Foundation, and that has its own. We have a unique academic system. We do what's called a modular system. So that means that in the first year, you are able to start your electives. You do all of your required courses, and you're able to take 6 electives. This means by the time you go to your summer internship after year 1, you've already developed an expertise in an area, or you can use those electives to try out different areas. Maybe you're not quite sure which career path you want to take, so you can use those electives to try it out. And because we break our semesters into 2 mods, classes are only 7 weeks long, and you get to take double the number of electives, something like 33 electives between your 2 years, because the second year is all electives. And you are welcome to take some of those in any department at Vanderbilt. So for example, if you wanted to take an M&A course at the law school, you could do that as part of your MBA. So huge advantage that we break our semesters into 2 mods, and that doubles the number of electives that you're able to take. These are our concentrations, specializations, and emphases. Concentrations are like majors. It's how we group our electives. And everybody will take at least one concentration, but you are able to combine 2 or 3 concentrations, which can be really, really helpful. Specializations are just a few more credits to go a little bit deeper within a concentration. So for example, within the concentration of finance, we offer specializations in investment management and corporate finance. So in marketing, we offer brand management. So very, very possible to go much deeper in an area. And you can do an emphasis in any of the 3 areas. The whole program is STEM designated. That means if you do your MBA at Vanderbilt, instead of having 12 months to stay in the US on your visa and work, you will have 36 months. So you receive an extra 24 months for a STEM designated program. Not every MBA program is STEM designated. So if you're planning on staying and working in the US, this is important. 36 months to work before your employer has to apply for the H-1B work visa for you. So a huge opportunity. Lots of experiential learning opportunities. For example, we have this one here is the finance career track. This here is tech. This one here is healthcare. And I believe that's consulting. So for example, for the tech track, over fall break in October, we take a group of students to Seattle to go to not Google, but I'm drawing a blank, our #1 employer, Amazon, and also to HP, I believe, and then the Silicon Valley to companies like Google or Airbnb to meet with alumni and to learn about those companies. So it's very, very hands-on. We're very socially conscious. We have a Center for Social Ventures in which you're able to participate in many different ventures that are completely student-run. The board is completely student-run. And these are students, graduate students from all over Vanderbilt. So highly encourage you to get involved in that. Our leadership development program is very unique. It runs for 2 years, the length of the MBA. It's optional. About 93% of the students decide to do it. If you decide to do it before you even arrive at Vanderbilt, we will administer the Hogan Leadership Assessment, which determines what your strengths and your weaknesses as a leader are. Then when you arrive, the LDP team will have conversations with you to debrief you on what this all means. They will then match you up with your own personal executive coach. This isn't staff, this isn't faculty. These are coaches that we hire from outside of Vanderbilt. They have maybe 20 or 30 years experience working with mid-career professionals, and they will work with you on your weaknesses to help you turn those into strengths. They'll give you different reading assignments and homework assignments. And then by the second year, you're able to put into practice what you've learned and perhaps become the president of the Latin Business Association. So lots of opportunity to improve your leadership skills and to build your own blueprint for leadership. We have all different types of clubs. We have professional clubs, we have affinity clubs, we have sports clubs. And if you are bringing a spouse, your spouse is welcome to join any of the clubs except the professional clubs. So for example, while you're in the strategy and consulting club, maybe your spouse is doing wine tasting in the Cork and Barrel or cooking in the culinary club. A little bit about a career management center. CMC stands for Career Management Center. They provide a lot of support even before you arrive on campus. They will start doing career exploration and workshops with you over the summer before starting the program in August. They will have small groups based on concentrations, based on career paths. They'll work with you on your resume and your cover letters, because you start the program in August and then companies start coming in September to do information sessions and coffee chats. They then will return about a month later and do on-campus career fairs and start interviewing for summer internships. So the Career Management Center coaches want to make sure that you are ready to hit the ground running because it all happens very, very fast. So you have your own personal career management center coach who will work with you so that you are able to secure your summer internship and then an offer, a full-time offer for after the MBA. These are our top hiring companies, not only for the full-time job after the MBA, but for the summer internship as well. We have relationships with over 100 companies who come to campus to recruit. Okay, this is our salary data for the class of 2023. The 2024 data will be coming out shortly, and there'll be a new employment report, which will have a higher base salary and perhaps signing bonus. And the thing to report about the class of 2023 is that 3 months after graduation, 97% of the class had job offers. That's including the international students. So that's incredible. And I recommend that you ask different programs that you're considering what the placement rate was for international students. We break that out in our employment report, which you're able to download from our website. This is what's required for the application. So you can see that we require the GMAT, the GRE, or the executive assessment. I would recommend you start studying for one of those if you aren't already. We recommend a minimum of about 100 hours of study and lots of mock tests before you take it. And it takes many applicants 2, 3, maybe 4 attempts before they receive a competitive score. And we do also require the Duolingo English test, the IELTS, or the TOEFL. I highly recommend the Duolingo English test because you can take it online. You can schedule it at any time. It's a lot cheaper than the other two tests. And the results come to us within 48 hours of your taking the test. And it's just a very sound academic, test. So highly recommend that. Within the application, we have 2 essays. 1 letter of recommendation is required. We do have a video response in which we give you 3 different prompts that you can respond to. You only need to respond to 1. And it's just our way of seeing how you deliver on a topic that you're not prepared for. Very, very easy. It's nothing to get worried about. They're fun questions, like icebreaker questions. So nothing that you need to get worried about. These are our deadlines. So our next big deadline will be January 8th. So if you're interested in applying for January 8th, I recommend that you attend some of our webinars and be in touch with us. The last deadline for internationals would be April 1st. And then you can see here when the decision is and by when you need to deposit. Okay, so for COLFUTURO recipients, we provide anywhere from 50% to 100% tuition scholarship. These are merit-based. So you will automatically get a minimum of 50%, but it could be all the way up to 100% based on merit. And we're looking at your test scores, your undergraduate record, your work experience, and what you're going to contribute to our community. So as part of the total scholarship package, you could, if you're female, you could be named a Forte Fellow, which I mentioned before, which will not involve any extra money, but it will give you entree into the Forte Foundation. And if you don't know about the Forte Foundation, I recommend you Google it and read about it. We have a whole list of student fellows on our website, and these are students who have found it very helpful. They found it helpful when they applied to be in contact with a current student. So they have been vetted by the Office of Recruiting and Admissions, and they have been trained, and they would love to interact with you. They're listed on our website under Contact a Student, and they're all listed by their area of interest. So you can easily find somebody to connect with them. You just click on them and you'll be able to send them an email and ask them about their experience at Owen, what they think about it. And we have a lot of events. This weekend is our premier recruiting event called Discover Vanderbilt Business. That is on Saturday. We have a virtual component, and on Friday is the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Symposium that I referred to. And you can attend one or the other, but the one that will give you the most information about the MBA program is Saturday's Discover Vanderbilt Business. You just need to go on our website and register for it. If you're not able to attend this one, we'll repeat it in February along with the Women in Business. And because we offer a really personal experience, you will have your own personal recruiting manager, either myself or one of my colleagues, the whole application process. So you will, after this event, you will receive an email of one of these people introducing themselves and saying that you can contact them while you go through the process. And you will also receive an application fee waiver. So if you do decide to apply to Vanderbilt, that will save you $200. You don't need a code. You don't need to do anything special. Just trust that it will be on your application. So we will put it there. Great. I'd love to open it up for any questions that you may have.
Perfect, Kim. Thank you so much for this relevant information for us. So yeah, we have some questions. The first one is, I would like to know is there a preference about the age of the students?
About the age of the studies?
Yeah.
We recommend that applicants have a minimum of 2 to 3 years professional work experience since they completed their undergraduate record. Our average is 6 years of professional experience, but we recommend a minimum of 2 to 3 years. Because you need to have some experience to be able to build on that and to contribute in the classroom. That's what the MBA is about, contributing about your own experience and learning from others about theirs.
Okay, but for the age specifically, maybe younger than 30 years or something like that?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Well, ok, perdón, voy a pasar al español. Tenemos unas preguntas sobre, bueno, Daniela nos dice, ¿qué porcentaje de lo que se recibe como scholarship es crédito beca y qué porcentaje de beca no se debe retornar? Entonces, Daniela, te explico un poco cómo funciona el tema con las universidades que tenemos convenio. No se mezcla el tema del crédito beca con el descuento que te otorgue la universidad. La universidad te va a dar, si tú eres la seleccionada por ellos, te va a dar el 50% de descuento en el costo de tu matrícula, tú pagas el restante. Tú ya ves si lo financias con COLFUTURO, si lo financias con otra fuente, pero ya muy aparte es lo del crédito beca. O sea, esto no va a interferir en absolutamente nada de tu proceso con COLFUTURO. Son dos procesos aparte. ¿Listo? Bien, listo. Sergio nos dice, hi Kim, I have already applied for the first round. Do you know how COLFUTURO scholarship is selected? Is it the first to be accepted or is there a different process? Do you want to respond that?
Do I know how COLFUTURO will be accepted?
Ok, voy a intentar responderla también en español. Entonces, Sergio, para aplicar a COLFUTURO, tú no tienes que tener carta de admisión con la universidad. Si tú aplicaste en este caso a Vanderbilt y de pronto ellos no te van a dar respuesta de la admisión, sino hasta mayo, junio del otro año, igual puedes aplicar a nuestro crédito beca. No es un requisito excepcional el hecho de que tengas carta de admisión, ¿listo? Entonces puedes aplicar a COLFUTURO, al crédito beca, teniendo de pronto el soporte de que ya estás en proceso de admisión con la universidad, ¿listo? Para todas las personas que nos están preguntando sobre el programa crédito beca y demás, les pido que por favor se dirijan a las charlas informativas que hay al respecto para aquí podernos enfocar específicamente en los temas que conciernen a la universidad. Entonces los invito a que sigan realizando sus dudas sobre temas de Vanderbilt y mientras tanto por aquí a través de medios tenemos algunas preguntas también.
Gracias.
Entonces, bien. Kim, ¿hay algún promedio, un PGA, un GPA, perdón, mínimo para que las personas puedan aplicar a los programas de Vanderbilt?
No.
No.
And
Listo.
we want you to keep your GPA within the Colombian context or wherever you studied. We don't want you to try to convert it to a 4.0 US scale.
That's perfect. Well, now, can students work on campus?
With the with the F1 student visa, Students are able to work up to 20 hours on 20 hours per week on campus.
Okay, that's perfect.
No matter where you are, you will all be on an F1 student visa if you choose to go to the US.
Perfect. Also, can students do an internship during the master program?
The internship, everybody does an internship. It's
Okay.
during the summer between the first year and the second year. And we have 100% placement for internships.
Okay, that's perfect. Another question we have here is there any problem if I travel with my family?
There's no problem at all. We love to have families. About 25% of our students come with families. And we have the Owen Partners Association, which is a social group for families. And we
Oh,
also
awesome.
have the International Student Care Group, where we bring together all the international students and staff and faculty who work with internationals like myself. And about once a month, we have a lunch. There's no agenda. Many times we include the families. It's just a way to get together and do a check-in to see how everybody's doing. And we
Oh,
try
that's
to
perfect.
include families.
Okay, thank you so much. And the last question that I have for you is what the candidates can do to improve their change of being admitted in Vanderbilt.
Well, how do they know they need to improve? I'm going to assume that they're very strong and they don't need to improve. I recommend that potential applicants get as much information from current students to learn about the program, to attend our recruiting events. For example, the program that I mentioned on Saturday, it includes a mock class by a professor. So you're able to see what it's like to be in the classroom. So you'll get a sense of what the school is like and what we're offering. The more events you attend, the more students you talk to.
Okay, that's perfect. Well, we don't have any more question for you, but Kim, thank you again. Oh, okay, yes, I have it.
Okay.
What is the process at Vanderbilt for being one of the 2 selected students with a 50% scholarship with COLFUTURO?
You need to apply to be admitted to the Vanderbilt MBA. Then you need to apply to COLFUTURO. And we take it in order of Colombians who have applied and are admitted. So for example, was it Sergio who said that you already applied in round 1? That's great. And perhaps he will be admitted and perhaps he'll get one of the COLFUTURO scholarships.
That's perfect, thank you. Well, okay. It is better to apply on the 3rd round for 2025 or waiting for the 1st round for 2026.
That's assuming that you can't apply for the 2nd round of January 8th. I would go ahead and still apply in round 3. And I always recommend to candidates that they apply when they have the best application, when all parts of their application are competitive. If your application is not competitive in round 3, then you may want to wait and apply either in round 4 or next year. But you want to have a competitive application. And that's the type of question that your personal recruiting manager can always help you with as well. We're the only school I know of that offers a personal recruiting manager for the applicant to interact with throughout the whole process. Sometimes I interact with people 2 or 3 years before they apply. So it's a huge advantage for you to have somebody like myself with whom you can work and ask questions.
Yes, of
I
course.
recommend you take advantage of it.
Well, Kim, we don't have any more questions now. So thank you so much again. This was a so productive session for all of us. You solved all the questions. So we look forward to stay in touch with you to continue offer all these resources and this information for our students. Thank you.
Espero haya dejado una huella.
Gracias,
Thanks, Karen. Chao.
A todos nuestros asistentes, muchas gracias también por su participación, su interés y sus preguntas. Los invitamos a que se sigan conectando en estos espacios con las universidades de convenio ubicadas en Estados Unidos y que se unan en general a todas nuestras charlas informativas. Muchas gracias.
Buenas noches.
Chao, Kim, que estés bien.